then there's Marigold, Barb's daughter. Yeah, those two mic drops look really, really nice. All right, so here's another one of those questions you'd like to just say, Mahindra, why? Question mark. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Ohrmundt Simmentals. All right, Saturday morning, and out, gonna check over the calves quick. And then on the dock for today, this morning, we're going to grind corn. So you should be able to load up and grind this morning because there shouldn't be anything to do with the actual elevator this time. There should be no thawing that needs to be done. And then grind. And then this afternoon, we're going to do all of our loader work before we go down to the shop, because then we're going to go through and do all the fluids on the Mahindra. You pre-run your auger before you put it up in place and before you start actually running feed through it, especially this time of year, because starlings are starting to make nests and they'll make them anywhere. We've snapped too many shear pins by trying to do that. Probably the next time we'll run it before we even put the two halves together, because somebody will make one down one half and down the other half. And these guys know what time it is. They're getting used to seeing the grinder. Had 4 bags left from our last batch that we bought from the mill. So we threw that on top. We'll throw that in first. And keeping with the 332 mix, like we've been doing. All right, load number 2 is going in the bin, and these guys are loving it, per the usual. So this afternoon, or before we start working on the tractor, we want to clean out these bale feeders, because some of this hay's been in here, and it's just it's just getting old. We'll turn it into bedding. I mean, there's hardly anything left of all the bales, just cumulative over a couple of bales. So we'll get rid of that stuff and then kind of start fresh. Last batch is going in the bin. We're going to be a little full, so whatever's left, we'll just put that in the gravity box. But it shouldn't be a whole lot. Maybe just a couple days worth. Not a big deal. All right, so we took a little lunch break. Bethany and I also had to run, and we're kind of helping out some friends of ours at the daycare that Dodge goes to. Let out some puppies because they're out of town overnight. So we said we'd help them out with. They just leave their dogs at the daycare, and then we can let them out and feed them and all that stuff. So we did that at lunch as well. But got everything ground this morning. Went pretty good. And I think we're going to do all of our loader work right now. Feed the cows, get bales for the other cows and the calves here. And then we're going to take the Mahindra down to the shop and start changing all the fluids. That way everything gets warmed up, partially because everything will get warmed up, and then also if we get to a point and it took a lot longer than we thought we would, then we can just finish up in the morning. But we don't really anticipate that, but just in case. All right, so we got both feeders cleaned out, this one and then the newer one. A couple of good looking mic drop daughters. So this one right here from last summer is Puffy Face. So she is a mic drop out of a cowboy cut. And then this one is the mic drop out of a high roller that had the True Justice heifer this year. And then there's Marigold, Barb's daughter. Yeah, those two mic drops look really, really nice. And then we have that tank of a bull ruler daughter is out here too. No, but our replacements this year are turning out really, really nice. Having the corn silage definitely gave us that little bit of boost in the feed and growth and performance that we were looking for. Definitely what we're going to be doing a little more of next year. Last year we chopped right about 8 acres of corn. Some of it was good, some of it wasn't the greatest, but it was decent, but it was dry. And then this year, another 4 acres to chop this year, which would be really, really nice, because that would be, that would be a nice 50% increase. All right, loader work is done. Almost basically everybody got a bale. One little update, I did get more milk replacer, but I hope I don't even have to open this. I do actually really like that Purina stuff. That for a milk replacer, that stuff is really nice. And Tractor Supply has, what is this, 9-pound bag? I like being able to buy just a 9-pound bag, because I don't need 50-pound bags. I mean, I know around our area we have a lot of dairies, so some guys, they buy them in 50-pound bags, because of the way their operation works with dairies. But I don't need a 50-pound bag. I do wish Genex would offer their colostrum replacement in a 9-pound bag, a 9 or 10-pound bag, because honestly, the whole idea is not to need any colostrum at all. So you shouldn't need a whole lot. Oh well. All right, Dad's got the tractor on his way down to the shop, and we're gonna swap out fluids in that thing. All right, admittedly, we're starting with the easy stuff. The oil. Engine oil. But this thing actually does have two plugs. There's one right here and then one right over here, because right here is actually the four-wheel drive. So this block actually saddles on both sides of it. So you got to drain this side and this side. Dad just took the oil filter out. And this stuff is nice and warm, so it drained pretty darn quick. All right, so here's another one of those questions you'd like to just say, Mahindra, why? Question mark. So this isn't screwed on or nothing. It's just stuck in there very tight, but that's our oil fill. And one, it seems dumb, and it's a pain to take off. So again, Mahindra, why? All right, engine oil is done, but now it's fuel filters. So there's a pre-filter here that comes off the tank. This one's kind of a bugger because it plugs up, and honestly the tractor runs better without the pre-filter than it does with it. And then here's the other one, but it's got that stupid electrical plug on the bottom that always makes it a pain to work with. Right?
Sure.
Alright, so this is the main fuel filter. And then this is the little sensor that you got to screw off the bottom of it and put onto the new one. And then you have to plug in the electrical back into here. So that's what we have to disconnect so we can unspin it. Spin it off. And then of course you never know how tight to make it. Alright, so here's the pre-filter. So this is just like a rolled paper guy. Sits in that cup. But we got to try and jam this guy. There's a little lip way up in this edge. Try and get that up in there. Usually we can just put a little grease on the cup, and that'll drive it up in there. So hopefully that'll work. Alright, so we got this back together. Here's the supply from the tank. So that's back on. So then that eventually will come up to here. Actually up to here. And then I believe this goes then to the injectors. What we got to do is start pumping to fill this guy up and to get it up here. And then we'll put the bolt in and we'll do a little bit more to start getting the air bubbles out. And then get it started. And then it'll run rough for a little bit. All right, so we're back at the farm. We just got done doing the rest of our feeding. Which just was rolling the bale out in front for the 313 and the 2 in the back. Those two pens both got a little extra bedding. Ground feed for the main group here. What else? Oh, and then water inside, and you know, the basics. If you've seen, I moved that one camera 4, that fourth Moto for the back pen. Yeah, I like it less than I did before, because moving it forward, I thought, you know, getting it into more light, more direct light would help it. It did not, because what it ended up doing is it lit up the left half of the screen really good, or the left half of the picture, but the right half is just all shadow. I have another idea. Be a little more involved, but you know, whatever. So on the tractor we got oil changed, oil filter, all that stuff. The oil is done, and then the fuel filters, both fuel filters, we are basically prepped and ready to go under and do hydraulic oil. So that's where we're at, but we're gonna do that tomorrow morning because I got some running around I gotta do tonight. And also Badgers have their tournament game tonight, NCAA tournament, second round against BYU, so I want to watch that. So we're going to call it the end of the day, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Hey, good morning. All right, so we're back out in the shop. Dad's going to start making a fire. But today, we're going to finish up the Mahindra. Actually, this morning we'll finish it up. But it's swapping out the hydraulic filter. So this guy is right here. Well, these hoses are rock solid. These cables are rock solid. And you don't have a whole lot of room under here. And then you have more hoses down in here. The last time we did this, it was rather crowded down there, and it's hard to get in there and everything. So what we're gonna try this time is we're actually just gonna pull this guy off. We already have it ready to go. I think we probably just need, it's settled a little bit, so we just need to jack it back up a little bit. I gotta find some buckets to put the hydraulic oil in, because I think it takes 5 gallons of hydraulic oil. I've got it open to the page here. Oh, excuse me, 9.2 gallons. All right, so a little update. It is nicer having the wheel off. Just a couple inches, the short ones. So we just have it right here, and because it does, these do have fluid in them, so we actually tied it off to the ROPS. Here's our main hydraulic filter. This under here is like a screen. Our Johnnies have the same or a similar thing. The main drain plug is here. There is this guy. We took it off, but it's the same area. I don't know why you would do that. The stink of this, and again, why Mahindra? Why? You can't even fit a 5-gallon bucket in here. Well, you can get it in empty. Getting it out, we had to jack this up, which we haven't on a jack anyways, to be able to get a 5-gallon bucket out. So we don't have enough little small ones, and all the small ones, like the 2-gallon buckets, are all at the farm. So now we're gonna take this little strainer guy off and clean that, make sure that that's clean, and then we'll pop this guy off and swap it out. So here's that pre-screen I was talking about. So that guy goes, and you can't hardly see it, right in here, and I gotta find the hole on the other end, and then we can put this cover back on, and then put the new hydraulic filter on. All right, so we took a little bit of a lunch break. Bethany and I had to make one more run for our daycare friends, but it is snowing to beat all get up out there. It's been garbage weather all day, so this is one of those perfect projects for a day like today. We gotta fill oil. We're gonna fill oil. We're actually gonna run it before we put the tire back on, just to make sure we don't have any leaks going on, and then put the tire back on, and then we're going to go through and grease everything on the loader. All right, we are done with the Mahindra, and everything seems to be going pretty good. Everything works, and then we took that chance to go through and grease everything up on the loader, which we do. We actually do that quite often, because, well, one, that's the one thing that's going up and down, a lot of pins and pivoting points on there. So, all right, so everybody is fed, but we definitely need some bedding. So in the barn, so I gotta roll out this bale, and we'll throw a bunch in there. The main crew, with this weather, they've been spending a lot of time in the barn, so it just made stuff a little soupy, and then not really soupy, but just wet. And then the calf area needs a little fresh spruce up. All right, this guy decided to come out while I was putting bedding in. Come on, bud. which is okay. It happens. Happens every year. Bunches of calves do it. Nope, that way, buddy. There we go. Once they figure that out, he'll be out all the time now, which isn't the end of the world. He ain't going nowhere. These guys are happy though. Alright, 313's got her bedding. I just got to spread out the stuff up there because couldn't throw it far enough. Alrighty. We got that all spread out, so those guys are set. Everybody in here will be fine. And we'll see what it looks like tomorrow. Hopefully a lot of this will melt off and we can bed them really nicely. I did scrape a little bit of this pad down here on the far end where the cows don't walk as much. So that way as it starts melting tomorrow, it'll have a place to start running to. Alright, we'll call this the end of the day. It is the end of the weekend, so it's the end of the video. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you guys liked the video. Please hit that thumbs up button as always. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I love answering those questions. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, follow along for more. And as always, thanks for coming along.